This week, we are going cover to cover on Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I'm Jamie Livingston.
And I'm Sarah Lyles, and we are so approachable. Okay, so we got back into thriller world.
We did.
And you've read Holly Jackson before.
I have.
Okay, so this is my first Holly Jackson. And so I've got a lot of thoughts.
You have thoughts, I have thoughts. Let's start with our 3 words. I always make you go first, so I'm going to go first.
Yes.
And say my words are potential, vulgar, and juvenile.
I get all 3 of those. My 3 are endless, fractured, and coiled.
Endless. This is a 392-page book that felt like 1,000. I have no idea.
I can't tell you how many times. Okay, first, just so you know, I'm basically going to give you my review in our discussion because there's no way around it.
No, I'm not going to sugarcoat this.
I had a lot of high hopes for this book. I have heard from you. You really liked Holly Jackson. I've never read Holly Jackson. And then we got this a listener recommendation. I mean, I was like, okay, this has got to be good. I expected it to be good. I was waiting for it to be good. And I think I texted you several times to be like, not quite done yet in this death. Like, this is the longest 7 days endless.
Right. And I laughed because you texted me at one point and said, how is there 7 more hours of this audiobook? And I had looked down at my audiobook at one point and been like, 7 hours? How many hours have I listened to already? I think I had a digital copy and the audiobook, so I was kind of going back and forth between those. You had the physical copy. Mm-hmm. Did you physically read this or did you stick to audiobook?
I did both. I enjoyed it more when I did read it because the audiobook, her voice.
It was awful.
It was awful. I was like, thinking like, I don't know what it is. And mind you, I cannot imagine being someone doing that. That's a hard job. That's a lot of words to read. But I just couldn't get into it. And I've DNF'd books before just because I hated the audiobook, the voice. It was awful.
Right. A lot of the reviews had cautioned against the audiobook too. So I was trying to read physically more than listening because the boy voices were ridiculous. It was like a cartoon. And like her friend Billy sounded like a duck, just this like scratching little voice. And I was like, no, I can't listen to this right now.
And I kept thinking to myself, and I think, I just asked you, how old was Jet again?
27.
And I would have thought Jet was maybe 16.
Right. Mm-hmm. Nobody in this book acted like an adult.
No, not at all.
So the fact that this was Holly Jackson's first adult fiction book coming out of being a hit with YA, it didn't hit the mark for me for adult fiction.
No. I mean, again, this makes me not want to ever pick up any Holly Jackson book, ever. So...
Right. And I think that I had listened to a couple interviews with her and she was excited. And she did acknowledge the fact that Jet is kind of trapped in her younger self. I mean, like, what 27-year-old has their life actually figured out yet? So it is kind of just like YA. But you're trying to pass it off as adult fiction. And so I need a 27-year-old who kind of has life a little more figured out. But she did not. She was kind of mean, and, like, I would use harsher terms. Like, she just was not nice. Mm-mm. Nobody liked her. Mm-mm. Like, there was nothing that made her, like, a protagonist that I wanted to root for. So when she had 7 days left to live, and she chose to live out those days, I mean, she could have had the surgery. Like, I wasn't necessarily rooting for her. You asked me a couple times along the way, she's like, she's not even going to die at the end of this. She's not even going to die, is she? Like, they're just stringing me along for 7 more hours, and she's not even going to die.
Well, it felt like that. It felt like a lot of moments of, I'm reading this whole book, and it twisted so many different times. And that's kind of why I used the word coiled, because it was like, oh, we're, like, going through this. No, it's changed to a different story. We're learning about another death. We're learning about another story. And it felt like several books thrown together, and that felt so hard for me to, like, stay on board. I mean, I was at a point where I'm like, okay, how long is each day? Is it 24 hours or is it 7 days in one day? Because that was so long. Every day felt long. And I get it. We're like living in her head. We're living in these moments. But that was a long, what'd you say, 394 pages? That was a long 394 pages.
It really was. And I remember thinking, like, what else could possibly happen in the next 3 days of her life? Like, what else? And then a million things happened, but it was like, did they need to happen? Why did I read all of that? I mean, it was interesting that she was uncovering this, like, long time family secret, but because of the reviews that we had read going into this, one of them had said that they were sobbing at the end, and so I had a feeling that, yes, she was in fact going to die. So would I have put it past Holly Jackson to, like, have a miracle and, like, save her at the end, and maybe that's why a person was crying? I wouldn't, but I was expecting her to still die. But she wasn't just solving her murder. Like, she ended up solving, well, she never actually realized who her murderer was. She died without knowing.
Yes. She didn't even find out what she lived for, the 7 days that she wanted to live for. I mean.
Right. Okay, so maybe we need to kind of go through some of the questions that we have here that may keep us focused on some of the good in here. Because I think that it was, like, an interesting premise.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I said potential is one of my words. Because I think that somebody could take this idea and repackage it. But first of all, you were just saying this before we started recording, but what are the odds that somebody who just had this crazy injury and brain surgery is walking out of the hospital 30 hours later?
Nobody. I mean,
None.
Nobody. At all. None. Zero.
No, I specifically had in my notes, realistic? Absolutely not. Released 30 hours after brain surgery? No. Running around? No. Infection? Yes. Like,
yes.
You're not going to be up and walking. I don't care if you're Jeremy Renner. You're not up and walking the next day. Like, this is ridiculous.
Right. And to me, like, really, realistically, she's 27. She's trying to make this. She has a lot of life left. And so what are the odds that she wouldn't choose a surgery that potentially could save her life versus, I just want to live 7 days to solve my murder?
Right. I mean, a 10% chance is very, very slim of surviving. So, like, I get that. But, yes, her mom was right. And, like, you take the option, Judge.
Yes. I mean,
you know the right choice.
Like I said, I would rather have died under the anesthesia than go through this, like, knowing that all these things are slowly going to break down and shut down and die. Like, I don't want to suffer.
Right. So she makes that choice, and her family is mad, and so she goes and lives with her best friend from childhood, Billy. What did you think about Billy? Because at the very beginning, Jet kind of goes down this list of, like, well, I know it wasn't you who killed me, and says, like, a bunch of reasons why. Did any, like, red flags go off at that, or?
Absolutely. Because I thought, if you're going to tell me that why he's not, then that makes him go on the list of a suspect.
Yeah. Right away, I was like, okay, one of our reviews said the only good person maybe was her friend Billy. And I was like, okay, well, and if you're going to rule out your first person just by saying, like, it wasn't you, right? Okay. I mean, we do find out that he's in love with her. And so I definitely had more... I trusted him a little more. I mean, I still had a little bit of, like, if this was you, that's going to be really stinky. Like, I'm going to be really mad. But along the way, again, our reviews had said it was really childish or very YA, and I was kind of hoping that the breadcrumbs along the way would be really, really obvious, and then we could just be like, yeah, the writing was really bad. It was very predictable. Did you predict it? Did you figure out who actually killed her?
I didn't. And part of it was I felt like I was in a slump and just was uninterested. And so that also makes it challenging because if I'm not wanting to, like, truly get into, like, murder crime, let me put my detective, hat on. I was just like, can we just get done with this? I became a point where I'm like, can she just die already? And that is sad because I had so much high hopes. And there were good parts. Like I actually, besides Billy's voice in the audiobook, I actually kind of grew to like Billy. I mean, to where I was like, oh, Billy, you like took and said, I killed you just because you wanted her to die with an answer.
Right.
And so I was like, that was really like not necessary, but nice that Billy tried to just give her an answer.
That was beautiful. I mean, she had said that she didn't believe him, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know you didn't kill me.
Yeah.
Even though he was trying to give her that one last request. I had it in my notes because it was mentioned multiple times, but the toolkit at Billy's apartment, they referenced it like 5 different times throughout the book. And as soon as the hammer went missing, I was like, uh-oh, it is Billy crap. Like, but also, why wouldn't Billy have said something like when they're Googling the pictures of this brand and they're saying it's in a toolkit that's 64 pieces, how did that not go off in his brain that, hey, I have a 64 kit in my closet that you've looked at, that we've stepped on, that we've pulled stuff down? Like, what? I don't care that you've never opened it. Your pictures didn't show the case.
Well, true.
It's like the generic black case I was so confused. That was definitely a plot hole for me because Billy would have recognized when they were looking at the pictures. And even Jet, she'd gone into that closet multiple times and seen that massive black toolkit.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, how did you not recognize something that was so obvious? And so, yeah, I don't know. There was so much that I felt like so fragmented, like, okay, this piece does not go with this piece. This doesn't make sense. And that was one of them, like, how do you not see? Like, and it's not like it's a small thing either. And so.
Did you have any theories throughout? Because I definitely thought it was Luke.
Oh.
I thought it was Luke and that he was just a schmuck and was trying to off his sister so that he could get the business because Dad wasn't going to do it for 2 kids.
Well, I mean, the sister-in-law looked a little suspicious.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't even show up to the hospital, like, at the beginning. So that kind of made me go, where is she? Why is she not there? So that was a little bit suspicious at the beginning.
Well, and that little side story of figuring out that she's been poisoning her father-in-law so that he just gets a little sick and wants to retire. Okay.
Psycho.
That's just, I didn't want to kill him. Okay, but now he needs a transplant. I was just looking at some reviews, and somebody mentioned how Jet's dad, Mr. Mason, ends up being like the worst off character I've ever read. Can you think about this? Like, at the end of the book, he's now lost 2 children because Emily died young.
Yeah.
Jet just died. He's losing Luke because Luke is going to go to jail for killing somebody. He's losing his wife because he just found out she cheated, and his business burned to the ground. Oh. Like, he literally has nothing, and his liver is broken, or his kidneys, whatever, and he's going to need a transplant because he's been poisoned for the last year.
That's horrible.
Like, there's nothing good that happened to this person.
A grandbaby, which, that poor baby.
Yeah. Like, he's stuck with the daughter-in-law that's been
poisoning him. I mean, honestly, horrible.
Right? Like,
honestly, she deserves to go to jail.
Yes. Yes. I mean, tampering with medicine, that's a big offense.
Yes, I agree.
So, yeah, Jet's dad, like, I'm sorry, sir. You did not deserve any of this.
No, you've been handed a really bad hand.
Yeah, awful. Okay, so we decided we didn't really like Jet, correct?
I did not. Did you?
No.
Was there
really.
any point that you felt like you liked her?
I don't think so, honestly. I mean, I relate to being kind of standoffish, but she was it to an extreme. And I don't think she was being, like, clever sassy. I think she was just being snarky and, like, the rude and the mean and not caring about anybody. How did she not know that her best friend was in love with her?
I mean, just always worried about herself. She was very
Right.
much so juvenile, and she was very self-centered. And so it just, part of me just hated her because of that. And all of that stemmed from that.
Right. I always have more time. I'll get to it later. What's in it for me?
Yeah, I didn't like that. So that to me wrote her off and said, nope, don't like you. And now I can think of all the reviews that we were reading that just was like, Jet's a stupid name. I hate
know.
Jet.
I literally, I copy and pasted that because I wanted to read that review again because it so resonates. Like everything, I'm so glad that I picked that one for our TLDR episode because every single thing that person said, I was like, yes, I 100% agree with you.
Well, when you give your review, just read that one. And then that will sum up your rating.
I'm with Angela, and this is what we have to say. Okay, so there's all these other offshoots, and so Jet is attacked on Halloween, and Billy's the one that finds her, which is traumatic.
Yeah.
Awful. Was there anything? There's a bunch of other townspeople. Like I had to go and Google and copy
Tons
and
of them.
paste a ton of people's names. Did any of those people stand out as being like a true suspect to you? Because we had her ex-fiance or ex-boyfriend, JJ, and JJ's brother.
For a minute, maybe the police officer. I was like, oh, you look weird. I don't know. But,
But, like,
that was Billy's father, but not
Billy's
anytime.
dad or the new police chief?
Well,
Because,
yes.
the police chief drama was weird.
Yes.
And when they were figuring out, like, oh, somebody else voted for him.
Oh,
Who could that
yes.
have been? And it was the mom.
Right.
Right. She didn't want to vote for Billy's dad.
That all looked... The whole thing was a big old mess.
Yeah.
Again, there were so many offshoot stories from this book that it was hard to go back to the main one. It was like, wait, are we solving your own murder? Or are we solving all these other things?
Right. And the fact that they, like, ended up in the workplace investigating insurance and tax fraud, and then that building is getting burnt down with them inside.
Yes.
Again, 3 days after being in brain surgery. Like, you're running
You're
around.
running
and
around.
Jumping off of roofs and, yeah.
Unlikely.
Did not believe it whatsoever.
So this, it just felt like I saw I guess it would be more the new police chief or new police officer that was like, oh, you look kind of suspect.
Right. Well, it didn't seem like they were taking the investigation very seriously.
Right.
Or moving quickly enough. The fact that she was arrested and locked
yeah.
up, and it was like,
She's going to die in a
Guys.
few days.
right, like what is the point of this? I mean,
Yeah.
that's not to say that you get like a hall pass to go and do whatever you want and
Right.
break all of the rules and laws in your last moments, but like, what was the purpose of that?
I don't know.
It gave her enough time to write her goodbye letters. What did you think about her letters?
I actually liked them. That actually was a good moment for me. I thought they were nice. They were very, like, genuine. She was very honest. They were still juvenile, but I liked the letters. What do you think about them?
Well, they were especially juvenile if you were reading them. I don't know if you actually looked at the book for the letters because she was writing them with her left hand, and because
Yeah.
at that point her right arm wasn't working,
Yes.
which was just weird. I don't know if that's true or if that happens, but that was weird. So she's trying to write them so they looked very childish. I think it was good of her to write them out. I don't know that they necessarily accomplished what it was that she was going for.
Right.
But I think coming off of recently we did The Correspondent, and that one was a lady who writes all letters.
Right.
All the time. Letters every day. And we had talked about the importance of like actually handwriting and having something tangible that somebody can look at and remember you by.
Right.
So using that time in jail to write some letters that were sentimental and significant, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
How do you think her family would react? I don't think we got the reaction to the letters.
No, we didn't. I mean, really, reading those, I can just think in my mind what I've made their family out to be, made her family out to be this, wealthy or don't really care about anybody else. So I felt like they would just read the letter and trash it. I don't feel like they would cherish it. Billy, I feel like, would. So it was hard for me to think that her family maybe would take it and live with it. Maybe her dad, but nobody else.
I'm still annoyed that she didn't tell her dad about the pills.
Yes.
Like, what was the point in that?
Yeah, that was like, tell him that your daughter-in-law is a piece.
Well, and just so that you can tell your doctor, hey, this is actually what's been going on.
Yes.
How can we reverse that? How can we contend with that? Like, let's try to get on the right path for my health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, because they might have been able to reverse some of that.
Well, they may have been like, well, you've been on this drug for the last year and it really hasn't been helping. Maybe we'll try something different. It's like, well, no, just give him the actual drug and it'll probably actually work for him.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why she didn't just lay it all out. It's not like she had anything left to live for because she wasn't there.
Right. And if she was trying to preserve family bonds and not ruin somebody, but also it's your dad. Help a guy out.
You owe her nothing. She's been poisoning your dad. And her your niece, nephew, whatever, they don't deserve a mom that's doing that.
Right. Ugh. There's a lot in here.
There's so much in here. I mean, I don't even know where to start or end or anything in between.
I do have to laugh because questions that came up on multiple things said, how much were you sobbing at the end of the book, Sarah?
Oh, well, like I said, I had lost interest. I mean, I think it was, 13-hour listening to, 12 hours?
Sure.
Okay, so maybe 3 or 4 hours in, I was done with the book. I was like, oh my goodness, how does this have so much left? And so when I finished, I was like, yes, you died. And you wrote letters to your family. And we're done with this. And so it was one thing that I'm like, number one, I already don't cry at things. There was no sadness left in me. It was more of a excitement that I'm done with it. It's like, goodbye, Jet. I'm done with you.
Right. I feel like it was kind of abrupt, too, because then they were at the funeral.
Yeah, it's quick.
Yeah.
It was like everything was drawn out until that moment. It was weird.
Yeah. I think I would liken this book to a train wreck where it's like I was glued to the book, but not for good reasons, if that makes sense. I just wanted it to be over, so I needed to keep reading.
You finished it pretty quick. And I know that you were traveling some and that kind of changed things, but you did finish it pretty quick.
Yeah, because I just needed it to be done. That was one of those, I don't want to drag this out even longer because, like I said, it was feeling really long. And, I'm looking at the book, and it is not, that big of a book. I mean, we're just shy of 400 pages, but, whew. It was supposed to be a fun, easy read, and it was just so meandering and bringing in all of these different things. I will say, there was a good dog. Reggie was a good dog. We at least had a good boy.
Yeah.
He was the one that, was barking like a maniac to alert the neighbors that something was wrong, so he's a hero.
Well, there's something good.
Right.
There's a positive. I mean, there's got to be a little bit more. I mean, I did enjoy some parts of it. I thought that there were a really good premise, like you were saying. I like the idea of someone having an end point. And so I think that could be really, really catchy. But I think there was too many other stories within this book that didn't captivate me, that made me just go, oh, I can't stick with it.
So I don't think we've talked about this yet, but just how vulgar this book was.
Oh, too much. Too much. And actually, I feel like this could be a YA book. Just remove the word. I mean, the F-bombs were thrown left and right, and I didn't like it.
Right. And I had warned you from the start and was like, I'm 3 pages in and I'm already 5 F-bombs deep. This, I'm not one for profanity, and I can usually, look past it, or there are some instances where, sure, whatever. But this was gratuitous. It was
a lot.
excessive. It was unnecessary.
Right.
Like, it wasn't proving a point. It was just showing us how much of a jerk Jet was. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were sentences where it was F-D-F-F-F.
Yes.
Like, that was an entire sentence. And it was like, I'm sorry. I don't need this.
Yeah.
Like, that, no. Like, I had asked you how far you were, and you were like, I'm about 17 F-bombs in. And I was like, so page 5? And I was like, yep, okay, that's about how far you are. Like, that's pretty sad. And so that was some of the reviews that I saw, too, where just using adult words does not make an adult book.
Right.
In fact, it really turned me off.
Well, and I often feel like people that are swearing all the time and or just literature that has a bunch of swear words, I think we are now at a idea of using that as like cool or mature, where I actually look at it less than that. I think, like, are you not smart enough or elevated enough to use better language, to use better words? Mm-hmm. Because that, to me, actually, if you start swearing at me, I actually take you down a scale and be like, oh, I'm not going to go down to your level, but...
Right. Your intelligence is down here.
Yes.
So you clearly don't have the diction or the lexicon to, like, converse on an adult manner. Mm-hmm. It's just, I was so disappointed by the language in this book, where this might be something where a 20-something picks up and is like, oh, this is so fun and cool, but like, no, I was not here for that whatsoever.
No, me either. I mean, again, how would you rate this against her other books? Because I know Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Yeah.
That was like highly rated.
Highly rated. I remember reading it and enjoying it. Okay. I don't remember like, now I kind of want to go back and listen to it and be like, was I just giving it a blanket good? I also wasn't very specific on my ratings back then and just kind of went off of the general vibe. And it was a good story. But I will say it was clean. There are definitely some, like, elevated young adult themes.
Yeah.
But I thought she accomplished her mission a lot better in that series. Mm-hmm. So this was a disappointment based off of just the language. Mm-hmm. And I still love our listener for recommending this.
Yes.
But Rhea 788247.
Yes.
Yep. Still love you, but not sold on this recommendation. But I think that's also what's really great about this podcast is that we're honest.
Yes.
And, like, we gave it a shot and we didn't DNF it.
I mean, I would have if I wouldn't been reading it for this.
Right.
But I mean, at the end, like I said, I liked the ending where she wrote the book or wrote the letters. And so that to me, like, was like, oh, I like that. I like that she did do that, even if I felt like it was juvenile and I feel like her family wouldn't receive it. But that was more for her, probably, in that sense, too.
Right. I think we just uncovered this family. I mean, you're talking about a big developer and the people that a bunch of the town doesn't like already. Then you're uncovering that a sibling killed a sibling. You're uncovering that a daughter-in-law is poisoning her father-in-law.
It's a lot.
Like, just a bunch of traumas and...
Dysfunctional.
Very dysfunctional. And so much so, I mean, the mom's affair, everybody, and then Billy's mom running away and Jet thinking that she was the reason for that because she had tried to blackmail her teacher into changing her grade. Like, there was so much, like, random stuff thrown in here.
Yes.
It was, like, put into the blender, and it was like, here's a book.
Right. And... I mean, I give it to Holly Jackson for trying to, change up and go to actually, like, adult fiction. But if she really was so good at accomplishing YA, then stay there.
You want to know what I do think is a good thing about this book?
What?
The cover.
Oh.
I think the cover is so beautiful and interesting.
Love the cover. I actually I don't even know what it means. I mean, yes, it's kind of like a forest and it's blue, but...
It's her brain.
It's very attractive. Is that what it is?
It's a brain.
It's very attractive, whatever it is.
Yes, it's foresty.
Yes.
But it is the outline of her brain and, like, the neurons and, like, all this stuff.
I like the colors.
Beautiful.
It's very attractive.
That's what this book has going for it. You'll pick it up, but you might put it right back down.
I mean, I opened the inside jacket and looked at it, and it just has like Roman numeral 7. So I was like, oh, I like that. I like that. That's nice. Very nice. A red cover, like stark red. But yeah, I do like the cover. All right, anything? Did we miss anything? We probably went over a lot, but didn't cover a lot.
I know. This has been kind of a ranting episode, which I feel like we've had really good ratings for our books lately, so we were maybe due. This one had a 4 rating overall.
Okay.
Judging from our TLDR episode, Goodreads put it out of 4.
All right.
How do you feel about this one, Sarah?
Well, I just want to say that I'm normally one who loves murders. I love thrillers. I love the mystery. I love the ride of it all. This one did not hit it. I am like generously giving a 2.5. That's generous.
Wow. Yeah, that is generous.
I mean, parts of me in that 4 hours, I was like, this is a solid 1. But there are other parts that were enjoyable that I thought were okay. So a generous 2.5. What about you?
Okay. I'm going to reread this 1-star review that I read in our last episode because Ajla had said, this should have been YA because it certainly reads that way. A bunch of F-bombs doesn't make a book adult. Jet is a stupid name. She's constantly repeating how someone murdered her, how she'll solve her own murder, or some version of that, and it gets awfully tiring. Characters are one-dimensional, and none of them sound like a mature adult, lead character included. The audiobook narration is torture. The male voices were atrocious. For a thriller, there really was nothing thrilling. And I just felt like that was a check. Yeah, I mean, you've got this 27-year-old who's just had brain surgery, who's literally outside using a sledgehammer to break up concrete. No, that is not happening. None of this was believable. Again,
I mean, she probably would have died.
Oh, right. That would have forced the piece of bone fragment to move.
100%, yes.
Yeah, no, not happening. So I was toying around with my number, and I'm going with a 2.2 and feeling like that's pretty generous based off of me agreeing so wholeheartedly with this 1-star review. But this is not a book I would recommend.
Oh, I would
to
never.
anyone. Like, I can't even think of who I would recommend it to.
Right. Like, if someone said, oh, would you read that book? Never. I can't wait to go take this back to the library and be done with it. Like, bye. See you later.
Yeah.
Thanks for the recommendation to our listener. Like, I do love that.
But that's where it's so comical because I was just looking online and there's so many people who loved it and were sobbing at the end and just loved it and were so heartbroken that Jet never knew the answer. And I was just like, oh, golly. But that's what is amazing about books.
Yes,
because
true.
maybe you haven't loved the books that we have loved.
Yeah.
There are other podcasts that you can listen to more glowing reviews of books. And if we don't align with you on certain books, we may on other books. And that's why we're really trying to challenge each other with the books that we pick.
Right. I do actually love when we don't always agree with every book. I don't think 5-star ratings all around is actually the best. I mean, I also don't think that's very entertaining to listen to people just constantly saying, this book is amazing. And then I read it and I'd be like, I hated that book. I don't know how you liked that book. So we're always going to be honest about how we feel. I mean, even if you don't agree, please tell us how you thought of this book. I would love to know.
I am very curious to hear anybody who's read this one with us. Please comment. Send us an email. We will feature it on an episode because
absolutely.
This one was definitely, I don't know, controversial for us, but definitely not the common reaction. But I would like to hear more opinions on this one.
Yes.
I'm also curious, just in our last episode, we had posed the question of what would you do if you knew you only had 5 to 7 days left to live?
Yeah.
Do you change that after reading this?
Probably not. I mean, this just made me go, I would not be reading a Holly Jackson book, that's for sure. And again, that's not fair. It's all, not fair for me to say because some of her other books have done so well.
Yeah.
So this one would not go down. But
Yeah.
no, probably not. What about you? Anything different?
Yeah, I don't know that I would necessarily feel the need to solve my murder or dig up all the family drama.
Oh, no.
Oof.
How depressing. Just
Right.
I would be the one that would sign up for the surgery, give me the 10% chance to try to live, and if I don't make it, at least my family knew I died trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, this was an adventure, and who knows where we're going next?
Who knows? Probably not here. All
No.
right. Until then, keep reading.
Keep ranting.
And remember, you're so approachable. Okay, the episode is over. If you enjoyed it, could you give us a thumbs up or leave a review?
It goes a long way toward helping us grow and meet new people like you.
Subscribe to get notified when the next episode drops.
You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're reading next, recommend new books, and join the conversation.
We're so excited to have you on board.